The 10th of June, 2022, Southern Iceland. A man in his 80s steps off a tour bus with his wife. They are Canadian. They have come a long way for this. The black sand beach of Reynisfjara is on every list of places you must see before you die. Cliffs of stacked basalt columns rise behind them like the pipes of an enormous organ. The water at the edge looks calm. People are taking photographs. The man takes his wife's hand. They walk closer, close enough to feel the spray. The angle is just a few steps further. They take the steps. For a moment, nothing happens. The waves come in. The waves go back. Then a sound changes. A wave that should have been like the others is not. It is taller. It is closer. It comes up the slope of the beach as if pulled by something underneath, and it does not stop. It takes both of them at once. Strangers grab her by the coat and pull her back. They get her by inches. He is not pulled back. The water at Reynisfjara is 2 degrees above freezing. A Coast Guard helicopter is called. The wind that day will not let it fly close. The helicopter circles. It waits. It tries again. An hour passes. By the time it reaches him, the beach still looks like a beach. There is a sign at Hanakapiai Beach on the island of Kauai. It is not the kind of sign a travel agency would put on a brochure. It is a sign that counts.
By the year 2014, the tally on that sign had reached 82. 82 drownings. The numbers are no accident. Hanakapiai has no reef. The reef that should slow the swell is missing. Rip currents form along the entire beach and run out into open water. There are no lifeguards. There is no road. To reach the beach, you walk 2 hours along a cliff trail where the foam does not work. If something goes wrong in the water, no one is coming. Of the 82 counted on that sign, at least 15 were never recovered. The bodies were taken somewhere out into a current that does not give things back. In one county of Florida, your chance of being bitten by a shark is 10 times higher than anywhere else in the United States. 10 times. Not slightly higher, not noticeably higher. 10. The county is called Volusia. The beach inside it that draws the most attacks is called New Smyrna. 350 recorded bites since the year 1882.
An average of 9 new bites per year. The world record, sitting on a strip of Atlantic sand that you can drive your car onto. The bites happen because the water is murky. Bull sharks and blacktips cruise the same sandbar where surfers wait for the next wave. The shark cannot see clearly. It sees a shape that looks like a fish. It investigates with its mouth. What is strange is not the number. What is strange is that the beach is still open. That tourists still come. That the parking lot is still full on a Saturday. The locals on Oahu have a nickname for one of their beaches. They call it Broke Neck. It does not look dangerous. The waves are not enormous. The water is warm. Families with coolers spread out on the sand the way families do. Then a wave comes in. Not a big wave, a medium one. It curls over and breaks in less than a foot of water, directly onto a layer of hard-packed sand, sitting on a slab of lava rock. Anyone in the path of that wave is picked up and thrown down head first. The Hawaii Trauma Registry counted 20 spinal injuries here in a single year. One tourist left Sandy Beach unable to move from the neck down. He had been standing in water that came up to his knees. The most dangerous waves at this beach are the small ones, the ones that look like nothing, the ones you do not think to brace for. Picture a snorkeler floating face down in calm, shallow water. Other snorkelers are nearby. The reef beneath is bright with fish. The bay is the most photographed snorkeling spot on Oahu. Now picture the same snorkeler 10 minutes later. The same position, face down, floating. This is how people die at Hanauma Bay. Quietly, without thrashing, without calling out. Other snorkelers swim past and do not notice because what they see is exactly what they came to see, a person looking at fish. The cause has a name that doctors have only recently agreed on.
Snorkel-induced rapid onset pulmonary edema. Fluid floods the lungs. The diver does not gasp because the breathing tube hides the moment. By the time someone reaches them, the brain has been without oxygen for too long. Over a recent decade, this bay was the single deadliest snorkeling spot in Hawaii. 32 confirmed drownings. 88% of the dead were tourists. For most of its history, the city beach of Recife in Brazil was just a city beach. Crowded, loud, warm. Then in the year 1992, something changed. The change had a name. The name was Suape. Suape is a deep-water port built south of the city. To build it, engineers dredged out the estuary system where bull sharks bred. The sharks lost the river mouths where they raised their young. They came north along the coast looking for new water, and they found a city. Within a year, the attacks started. Within 15 years, 56 bites were recorded on the beach of Boa Viagem. 21 of them were fatal. The city responded the way cities respond. White wooden crosses were planted in the sand. Signs were put up. The attacks continued. The sharks did not arrive at Boa Viagem. They were sent there by a port. On a sandy island off the coast of Queensland, there is a population of wild dogs that does not exist anywhere else on Earth. They are dingoes, and the dingoes of Kagari have never interbred with domestic dogs. They are genetically pure. They are wild in a way most of the rest of their species no longer is. 12,000 tourists come to Kagari every year. Some of them leave food out. Some of them try to take photographs from too close. Over time, the dingoes have learned that humans are not dangerous. That humans, in fact, are a kind of source. Most encounters end in a scratch, a torn shirt, a bite on the leg. Some end worse. After every serious incident, the rangers cull part of the pack. After every cull, the conservationists are angry.
After every quiet year, the food gets left out again. The dingoes on Gari are not afraid of you. That is the part that should worry you. There is a beach on the Pacific coast of Mexico whose name, translated from the Zapotec language, simply means Beach of the Dead. The name is not a marketing decision. It was given to the place long before the first hotel was built. Local legend says the Zapotecs once gave their dead to the sea here because the water on this stretch always took what was offered. Before the year 1995, the Beach of the Dead earned its name with statistics. Around 50 drownings per year. The current here does not behave like a current is supposed to behave. It flows in circles. It pushes a swimmer toward shore for a minute, and then, without warning, it lifts and turns and pulls in the opposite direction at a speed no swimmer can match. A lifeguard service was finally formed. Within 1 year, drownings were cut in half.
But the current did not change. The current is still doing what it has always done. The difference is, now somebody is watching. The water off Reynisfjara, where this film began, does something that the water at other beaches does not do. Just offshore, the seafloor drops away into a deep underwater shelf. When the swell hits that shelf, the energy of several smaller waves gathers into one larger wave. The wave does not arrive at the same rhythm as the others,
It arrives further up the sand. It arrives without warning. It has a name in Icelandic, but the English name is simpler. Sneaker wave. In recent years, at least 5 tourists have died here. The authorities have responded with a light system at the parking lot. Yellow for caution, red for closure. They have installed cameras. They've built signs in 3 languages. The light was on the day the Canadian man died. The light is on most days. The light cannot make a tourist turn around. People come here for the basalt columns. The columns are still beautiful. The water is still cold enough to kill in minutes. Nothing about the picture warns you which way it will go. There is a beach in the Caribbean whose main attraction is being hit by a jet engine. This is not a metaphor. Maho Beach sits at the end of the runway of Princess Juliana International Airport on the island of Sint Maarten. Commercial airliners pass over the sand at a height of a few meters. Tourists stand directly under them. Then the same aircraft turn around at the other end of the runway and spool up their engines for takeoff. The blast that comes off those engines can throw an adult human body across the beach. This is widely known. There are warning signs. There is a fence. Tourists grip the fence with both hands and brace because being thrown by the jet blast is the experience they came for. On the 12th of July, 2017, a 57-year-old woman from New Zealand lost her grip on the fence as a Boeing 737 began its takeoff roll. She was thrown across the beach. She did not survive. She was the first person to die at Maho Beach from a jet engine. She was not the first to be hurt. In the year 2000, the same blast threw a tourist from Switzerland with enough force to nearly kill him. The beach is still open. The flight schedule is still posted at the bar across the street. A man in his late 20s paddles out at a surf break called Saint-Leu on the island of Réunion in the Indian Ocean. The break is one of the best lefts in the world. It is also inside a zone that has been officially closed to surfers and swimmers for years. He is with 3 friends. His friends are wearing electronic shark repellents strapped to their ankles. He is not. The decision to skip the repellent was probably casual, a minor inconvenience, a piece of equipment that felt unnecessary. From the beach, no one would have noticed. The date is the 9th of May, 2019. The time is just before 4:30 in the afternoon. His friends paddle. The waves break. He goes under. He does not come up. His board floats alone on the surface. That is the moment the lifeguards on shore understand what has happened. Réunion sits on what marine biologists call the Shark Highway, a corridor between Australia and South Africa where bull and tiger sharks move along the coast. Between the year 2011 and 2019, this island accounted for almost 1 in 5 fatal shark attacks recorded anywhere on the planet. Inside that statistic is a man who took off a small piece of plastic and did not come back. In 2023, the Weather Channel named the most dangerous beach on Earth. The beach is in Queensland, Australia. It is called Cape Tribulation. The name was given to it by Captain Cook, who ran his ship aground here in 1770 and lost a great deal because of it. Tribulation does not refer to the weather, it refers to what lives there. In the water, there are saltwater crocodiles up to 7 meters long. Among them are box jellyfish, whose sting can stop a heart in under 3 minutes. Among them are irukandji, the smallest known venomous jellyfish, almost invisible, whose sting causes a syndrome doctors have given its own name. Among them are tiger sharks. On the sand, there are cassowaries, flightless birds the size of a man, with a single claw on each foot, capable of opening a human's stomach. In the rainforest behind the sand, there are taipans and pythons. Swimming at Cape Tribulation is officially prohibited. The danger here is not any single thing. The danger is that every layer of the place, air, water, beach, forest, is occupied by something that can kill you. There is no safe direction to walk.
The indigenous San people of southwestern Africa have a name for the strip of coast that runs along the Atlantic edge of what is now Namibia. They call it the land God made in anger. The Portuguese sailors who passed it called it the gates of hell. It is a desert that meets a cold ocean. Rainfall here in a given year is around 10 millimeters. There is no fresh water. The wind blows from the land toward the sea. The sea is too cold to swim in. Where the cold current of the deep meets the heat of the desert, a thick fog forms. The fog hides the coastline. The fog hides the rocks just offshore. More than 1,000 ships are known to have wrecked along this coast. The British liner Dunedin Star in 1942 ran aground here. The rescue of her crew cost a tug and an aircraft and the lives of 2 of the men sent to save them. A German cargo ship called the Eduard Bohlen ran aground in 1909. The desert dune has moved since then. The wreck now sits 300 meters inland, surrounded by sand, rusting in the middle of nowhere. If you survive your shipwreck on the Skeleton Coast, the coast is not done with you. You walk inland. There is nothing inland. The next water is hundreds of kilometers away. The fog returns. You do not. The sand at Dumar Beach in the Indian state of Gujarat is black. Local belief explains why. The site, long before it was a beach, was a Hindu cremation ground. The ashes of the dead were poured into the same earth that now makes the sand. They say the color of the sand is the color of what was burned here. Drownings at Dumar happen in shallow water. People walk into the surf no further than their knees and do not walk back out. One adult man was found dead on the sand. The cause of death was never established by any doctor. After dark, the people who live nearby do not stay on the beach. They say there are voices. They say lights move along the waterline, the color of lanterns, that go out when you approach. They say someone laughs. A travel guide will tell you this is folklore. The signs at the entrance to the beach are not folklore. They warn you not to come here at night. This is the last beach in our list, because it is the one that does not fit. The others can be explained. Currents, sharks, cliffs, engines. Whatever Duma is doing, no one has explained it yet. 13 beaches. If you were keeping count, you noticed something. The dead on these beaches are almost never the locals. The locals do not swim at Hanakapiai. The locals do not stand at the end of the runway at Maho. The locals on Reunion stopped surfing the closed breaks. The Zapotec do not enter the water at the beach of the dead. The Namibians have not built a holiday resort on the gates of hell. The dead are visitors. Almost always. The dead came from somewhere else, where the water behaved differently, where the dogs were not wild, where the wave did not arrive without warning. They came with the expectations they brought from home, and the place they came to did not share those expectations. This is the part the brochures cannot say. The beach in the photograph is real. The white sand is real. The water is the color the photograph shows. But the photograph was taken at a specific moment, and the beach is not always at that moment. The beach has other moments. Most of them you will not see in the brochure. The man on the 10th of June, 2022, came for a photograph of the basalt columns. He took it. His wife went home with it. The picture is on a phone in Canada now. The beach behind him in that picture is calm. The beach behind him is always calm in pictures.